The Mr. Excel podcast is sponsored by Easy Excel. Learning Excel from Mr. Excel podcast, episode 1777. Mark duplicates greater than 5 in red, less than 5 in blue. Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Jelen. Well, today's question came in from YouTube, and they were actually looking for a macro to do this. In each row, we have numbers from B through J, and we want to mark the duplicates. If they're higher than 5, use red, lower than 5, use blue. And it turns out we don't have to use a macro for this at all. We can do this with two conditional formatting rules, but the formula here is going to be rather tricky because we're going to select this entire range, and you have to look and figure out what the top left corner cell is. That's cell B6, right? And we're going to write a formula that works for that cell, but the formula has to have the right combination of dollar signs, so that way it'll work when copied throughout the entire range. All right. So one thing we're going to do for the red, we're going to look and see if B6, the current cell, is greater than 5. That's going to be one check. We're going to have an AND function to check two things, and then we're also going to do a count if from $ B6. In other words, always start in column B of this row and look all the way out to $J6, always J6, or column J of this row, and compare that to the current value, B6. And if there are more than one, then mark the cell. Okay, now that assumes we want to mark both duplicates in the color. So 13 and 13, we want to mark them both, then that will work. But I'm not sure from the question, when I am looking for duplicates, I only want to mark the problem cell, not both halves of the duplicate. I only want to mark the one out here, so maybe, we are applying checks to an invoice or something like that. I don't know. And I only want to mark the second one. And if that's the way we want to go, then we're always going to check from $B6, but we're not going to go out to column J. We're going to go to the current column. So B6 without the dollar sign. All right, so let's set them both up. I'll do Alt-O, D for format conditional formatting. We'll do a new rule, use a formula to determine which cells to format, and it's going to be equal and, because we have two conditions. First condition, B6 greater than 5. So this is going to mark 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. If you needed 5 included here, you would use greater than or equal to 5, comma. All right, second condition is our count if, and we're going to use $B6 colon $J6, comma, see if it's equal to no dollar signs, B6 is greater than 1. All right, there we go. Now, the trick here, so my data happens to start in B6. Your data might start somewhere else. It might start in B2 or B14 or something like that. So if you're not in row 6, if the top left corner cell isn't in row 6, everywhere where I have a 6 here, you would have to change to your starting row, maybe 2. Change that to a 2, change that to a 2, change that to a 2, and so on. All right, so we want red. You can either choose a red font like this, or a red fill like this, or both. Your call. I'm going to put them both in there. Click OK. All right, and what I can actually apply here, and you'll see that anytime that there is a duplicate greater than 5, they're both being marked. All right, now we're going to add, actually I'm going to go in and edit this rule. I'm going to copy this to the clipboard, Control C, click OK. I'm going to add a new rule, use a formula. I'm going to paste that exact same formula in, but this time I'm going to say if it's less than or equal to 5. These are the ones that we want to mark as blue. So we'll use a light blue fill and a dark blue font. Click OK, click OK, click OK. All right, and so now here, this -4 is a duplicate, the -5 is a duplicate, -3 is a duplicate, 16 is a duplicate above 5, so we get red. All right, so now you see this is marking both duplicates. I'm not sure that that's exactly what we want, so I'm going to make a copy of this sheet, and we'll go in and edit these formulas. So Alt-O-D, that brings us back to our rules manager. We'll edit this rule, and if we only want to mark the second, third, fourth duplicates in each row, then this $J, you see that? I was in point mode. I need to press F2 to get out of point mode. Down here, you'll see in the lower left-hand corner, we switch to edit mode. I need to change that $J to just no $B. Click OK. And then this one, we'll edit the rule. Get rid of the $J. Change it to a B. Click OK. Click OK. Very subtle change there. So now it's marking the second one. And if there would be a third one, let's say there was a 13 here, it would mark that one as well. So the first one doesn't get marked, but then the duplicates in each row get marked. So a couple of different ways to go there using conditional formatting, just making sure that we get those $signs right, so that way as the formula expands, here's an example. If we would go down to, for example, cell G14, what the rule is doing as it gets copied down to row 14, because we didn't put $signs before any of the row numbers, the row 6 is allowed to change to row 14. So we're saying, hey, check to see if G14 is greater than 5, and then check to see if column B of this row, row 14, to column J of this row, row 14, is equal to G14, is greater than 1. That's why I'm very careful here, very deliberate about where those $signs go. So that way, as the formula gets copied down and over, that range continues to be the correct range. And if we're just trying to mark the second one, we want to go from column B of this row to the current column, current row, and see if it's equal to current column, current row. Well, hey, I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.